So you're thinking about moving to Tucson, Arizona. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about Tucson, Arizona. We're going to talk about things that people already know that live here in Tucson, but that may surprise you if you don't live here in Tucson, things you should know. And we're going to get after it right now. Your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about Tucson, Arizona, then subscribe below. You're going to want to tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Tucson, Arizona. My name is Trisha Kay. The team and I, we get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking for help in moving to Tucson, and we love it. So whether you're moving in 3 days or 3 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'll be happy to help you out. Like I said, today we're going to be going over Tucson, Arizona. When you live in Tucson, these are things that you know and you think about, but if you don't live here or you never have lived here, these are things you may never think of. A lot of them have to do with the heat and the sun, but these are things we live with, especially in the summertime, but also some of the winter things. We're going to talk about them right now. So the first thing I wanted to tell you is in the summertime, you want to do things when it's cool outside. So you get up early in the morning and exercise, or you exercise when the sun goes down, or you walk your dog in the morning before it's really hot outside. When it's 100 degrees outside, you don't want to be jogging around the block. So you do a lot of your outdoor activities in the morning or in the afternoon, in the early evening when the sun goes down. In Tucson, we have monsoon season. So June, July, August, especially July seems to be our strong month for monsoons. And what those are summer rains. So it's sunny all day long, and then in the afternoon, the clouds come in, it gets really dark, and then these thunderstorms come in. So we get monsoons in the summertime. And during this time, we have what are called washes here in Arizona. So there's these dry riverbeds, but during monsoon season, it rains so much during a short amount of time in the evening that the rain doesn't really have time to sink in. So it runs in these washes, and these washes turn into rivers. So they're, shallow rivers, but they run really fast. The water's just running. And we have little bridges and everything for the most part where you drive over them and you're like, oh wow, the wash is running today. It's really neat to see these washes running, but sometimes there's neighborhoods or areas that a wash will run and there's usually a sign, do not enter when flooded. And some people will still try to cross there even though there's a sign. And sometimes, their car will get swooped down and they'll have to call the fire department to come get the people out. But if the washes are running and you see them crossing the road, then you don't go in there. But like I said, most of the big roads and everything have bridges over those, and it's not an issue. You'll just drive over and see the water running in the riverbeds. So my next one is kind of stating the obvious, but here in Tucson you need to wear hats, sunglasses, you wear sunscreen, you might even bring an umbrella for shade because it's hot here. You want to park your car in the shade, whether it's under a shaded tree or whether it's, under some shade parking. If you can't find shade, then we have what are called sunscreens for your car, and they just pop open and unfold almost like an umbrella, but you put them on your windshield and you crack your windows, and this keeps the inside of your car from getting too hot. Because if you don't put this up, your steering wheel can be hot to touch, your seat can be hot to sit on because it gets hotter in your car than outside of your car, and it's hot enough outside. So you don't want to make the inside of your car any hotter. So we have the pop-up shades, the sunscreen, and needless to say, you never leave your pets in the car because it is too hot. And like I said, it gets hotter in your car than outside of the car. So you would never want to leave your pets or your kids in the car without the air conditioning. Even if you crack the windows, it's just not enough. So always bring sun protection. Okay, in Tucson, another thing that is kind of neat about Tucson that is not normal to other places, a lot of days in the winter, you can still wear your shorts. I mean, it's warm enough here in the winter, a lot of us wear shorts. Now, the difference is in the wintertime in Arizona in general, it gets cold in the morning and cold at night. So as soon as that sun goes down, you're gonna want a jacket and pants. You know, it gets cool. It'll get down to 40, sometimes in the 30s. So at night it's cold, but during the day it's 60, 70. So you can wear shorts during the day. It's good to dress in layers. A lot of people will wear shorts and then a shirt and a jacket, and that's your winter day, you know, and you leave in the morning and then you'll take off your jacket as you get hot and enjoy the day, and then you'll put your jacket back on at night. So that's kind of, Tucson has these crazy winters, but they're beautiful winters where you can hike during the day and you can bike during the day, and it's really nice that it's January or February and you can be outside just enjoying the outdoors. So Tucson is very spread out, so it takes a while to get from one side of town to the other side of town. So if you live on the northwest side of Tucson and you're going over to the east side of Tucson, you have to plan that drive. Now we only have the one freeway that wraps around Tucson, so there's not a bunch of freeways all over Tucson. There are roads that go east and west and north and south, and they're busier, well-built roads that you can get from side to side, but it definitely takes more time than if we did have a freeway. So you have to plan accordingly. It's gonna take some time to get to the other side of town. That being said, a lot of people don't want freeways here. They love all the mountains. Tucson is surrounded by mountains and they love the views, and they don't want their views blocked with freeways. So that's kind of how Tucson is. Another thing is, when you live in a certain area, say you live on the northwest side of town, you tend to stay on the northwest side of town. You shop there, you grocery shop there, your kids go to school there. And when you drive to the other side of town, I mean, it's like going somewhere else because you don't go over there all that often. So it's kind of neat, like you may go over there to try a certain restaurant that you heard about or something like that, but honestly, you could get lost because it's a ways away and you're more familiar with your part of town. So that's another thing about Tucson, is there's not a lot of freeways, so plan your driving time accordingly. So when you're buying a home here in Tucson, there's a lot of Spanish and Mexican style influence here. There's a lot of southwestern homes. So you really, because of the sun, it matters which way your house faces. And because of the mountain views and things like that, it does matter. That's why you need a good realtor to help you pick out which way your house is going to face, which way the sun is going to be coming down, you know, what windows is the sun going to be coming in, stuff like that. Another thing is that Tucson does not have a lot of homes with basements. I mean, hardly at all, because we have some hard ground here called caliche, so we don't dig basements. Tucson does use a lot of outdoor space, so patios are important. A lot of people spend time outside on their patios. The shade is great not only for keeping you out of the sun, but for your pets, and a lot of people entertain at their house, in their backyards. So there's a lot of swimming pools, a lot of built-in barbecues, things like that, because people really do entertain in their backyard and have people over, and your outdoors is often a lot like part of your indoors. It's just shared space and you use that space a lot. Another thing about these flat roofs that we have here in Tucson that I was talking about, they have these flat roofs, and every couple of years you paint on the roof, or you have someone paint this rubberized white roof coating, and it reflects the sun. It helps keep your roof healthy, and it helps keep it from rotting or anything from the sun. So every couple of years you have a coat done on your roof with this rubberized white roof coating. So that's why if you watch some of the videos and you see these white rooftops, it helps reflect the sun, it helps keep the roof healthy, and helps keep it from leaking and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that. Let me know if you've ever seen that, or if you have that where you live, because I think it's mostly an Arizona thing. I don't know if you have it in other places, but I would be curious to know that. So the next thing I'm going to say is plan your time in the summer accordingly. So if you know it's going to be a hot day or something, you know, you'll want to plan to take the kids swimming that day, or take them to a splash pad or something like that. Over July 4th, I will say it's a very hot and monsoony time here in Tucson, Arizona, but we have a lot of things that we do. A lot of people leave town and they go either to the mountains, which is about 4 hours away, or San Diego, which is about 6 hours away, so they go enjoy their weather. They have nice summers. We have nice time the rest of the year, but during that time it's hot. So a lot of people leave Tucson over 4th of July, but if you stay here in Tucson, a lot of the resorts, because it's not a busy time of year for us, it's not our best weather in July, but a lot of the resorts, the really nice resorts, they'll have sales that weekend, and you can book the weekend to stay there and enjoy their lazy river, and they put on fireworks, and they have movies out by the pool, and they have fire pits where you can make marshmallows and stuff. So there's some great deals. So the next thing I'm going to share with you is be wise of the wildlife. We do have coyotes, we do have javelina pigs, and the javelina pigs run in packs. The coyotes, you'll usually see 2 or 3 of those together. For the most part, you see them from a distance. Like you'll be driving down the road and they'll run across the road, and I tell you, they're gone as quick as you see them. Sometimes you'll see like a little pack of javelina in a wash or something, and they're all running under a tree. They really don't bother you. For the most part, they don't bother you. We do have snakes, we do have rattlesnakes. If you have a snake in your yard, you can call the fire department. They'll often come and remove them and relocate them to somewhere else. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to mess with trying to catch them or anything like that. The fire department will come and do that for you. With the javelina and coyotes and things like that, you don't want to feed them because you don't want them to get used to having people food, and then they start coming up to people and expecting it, and it scares people. So you don't want to feed them. Just if you see them, like a lot of houses have a wash built behind them. You know, I've lived in houses like that before, and you'll see the javelina run by with their little baby pigs, and it's the cutest thing. But you don't want to feed them because then they start coming up to your fence or coming up to people, and it scares people, and you don't want to have that. You don't want to be part of, you know, one of them getting hurt or having to be relocated because it wants to see people. So if you happen to see coyotes or javelina, it's actually really rare, or a bobcat or something like that. We do have all those things here in Tucson, but it's pretty rare that you see it, and if so, it's usually off in the distance, or it'll see you and it'll take off. Those animals don't usually come up to you at all. It's kind of rare, and I always feel lucky when I see something like that. Another thing about Tucson that we have that other places don't have, because our winters are so mild, you can garden all year long. You can, you know, grow things in the winter, and you can grow things in the summer. In the wintertime, maybe a couple of days, it might freeze and you might have to throw a sheet over your garden or something. For the most part though, no, you don't. It's just really nice that you can grow things all year round. We do change out like our flowers, our spring and our summer flowers we change out, but it's really nice because you can have flowers all year round and you can have food all year round in a garden. So it's really, really pretty neat that way. So my last thing is, you always want to travel with a jug of water in your car. Whether it's summer, whether it's winter, if you ever break down or anything, you want to be sure that you have water, because water is something that everybody needs, but especially in the summertime, you want to be smart and have water with you. For watching this video all about Tucson, Arizona. If it was helpful to you and you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that helps our channel out a lot. We'd really appreciate it. And again, if you're thinking of moving to Tucson, whether you're moving in 3 days or 3 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'll be happy to help you out. Again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you around town. Bye-bye.